Hello and welcome to Knit Graffiti's tutorial for working a 3-needle bind-off with 2-color brioche stitches. I have finished the right front panel and back of my Pomono pattern, which I am using for this demonstration. As you can see here, this is the completed left side of the garment, which is actually inside out right now. So here is the finished result of the 3-needle bind-off on the contrast side. This is what it looks like on the main side of the fabric. You can see that this technique creates a very clean look, as well as giving you the extra stability in the shoulder that you need. I have placed all of my stitches from the back onto my circular needle, and I've left the remaining live stitches on waste yarn, which will be used later for the collar. Okay, I'm ready to start the 3-needle bind-off. I have my working yarn here at the back needle, and you want to make sure your work is towards the front of your left-hand needles. Here's my extra needle. You can use anything from a straight needle to a circular needle to even a double-pointed needle, whatever you have on hand. You're going to work this similarly to a traditional 3-needle bind-off, except you want to be careful to see which are brioche stitches and which are plain knit stitches. This first stitch here is a brioche stitch. Here is the slipped stitch, and here is its corresponding yarn over. So I put my needle through the stitch as if to knit or bark, and then I put my needle through the back stitch as if to knit, and knit those two stitches together. Bring the yarn through both stitches and slide both stitches off of the needle at the same time. Repeat the same step, except that these next two stitches are both knit stitches. There's one knit stitch on the front needle and one knit stitch on the back needle. Put needle through both of those stitches as if to knit. Knit them together and slide both stitches off the needles at the same time. Now I'm going to simply bind off the first stitch on my right hand needle using the traditional bind off method by slipping it over the next stitch. These next two stitches are both brioche stitches. You can see the slipped stitch with its yarn over. So you bark the stitch on the front needle, then bark the stitch on the back needle, knit them together, pull the yarn through, slide them both off the needle at the same time. Then you bind off the next stitch. Okay, so I'm going to work through the next few stitches, knit these two together, slide them off the needles, bind off the next stitch. Bark these two stitches together, pull the yarn through, slide them off the needles, and bind off the next stitch. knit 2 stitches together, pull the yarn through, slide the yarn off the needles, and bind off the next stitch. You'll continue working in this way until you have 3 stitches left on the needles. And here you can see what the stitches look like that have been bound off. So continue working in this way until you have 3 stitches left on your needles, and I'll meet you back. Okay, here we have our final 3 stitches. There are 2 stitches on the left-hand needles and 1 stitch on the right-hand needle. Knit the 2 stitches together on the left-hand needle, pull the yarn through, and slide the 2 stitches off the needles at the same time. Bind off the last stitch. Make a large loop with the yarn. Break your working yarn. And pull the end through the loop to secure. And there we are. Here's the completed shoulder on the contrast side. And this is what it looks like on the main side. You can see all the stitches are nicely lined up. Thank you so much for watching.